Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. And last night we beat Burnley 1-0 at home. We're now on Saturday. We're at home to Hull City. A win could see us go 13th. Oh, the lofty heights of the Premier League for West Ham United. Gonzo, what's your thoughts on our opponents, Hull City?
They started really well, didn't they? They picked up a lot of points at the start. I think they only had 14 senior players or something like that at the start of the season. They looked like Steve Bruce was going to start the season. I think he had a falling out with the owners, and then Mike Phelan, who is the ex-Manchester United first-team coach, took charge, got some good results early on. Then they bought some players. They bought Mason, possibly, from Tottenham, amongst others. And then I think they got some new owners again. And then they've sort of tailed off a little bit. Robert Snodgrass is their playmaker. That's what I know about Hull.
Tom, are Hull City heading back to the Championship?
I would think so, yeah. But I watched them I watched them Match of the Day last night on the highlights when I got in from the football, and they looked like they've done all right against Tottenham, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be more of a problem than Burnley, to be honest.
Do you agree with that, Gonzo? Or do you think Hull are going to be more problematic than Burnley were?
They've got more players with Premier League experience, haven't they? We spoke about Tom Huddleston briefly in our Burnley review, and he's a quality passer of the ball. He won some England caps. He's a decent enough player. So whether they've quite got the firepower, I don't know. But I would imagine Hull will finish above Burnley this season.
Bold claim. I don't agree with that one. I think Burnley will finish. I think Burnley will survive. I don't think Hull will. But the difference between the two is I think Burnley are sitting mid-table when they came to us, and they could accept a point. I'm not sure Hull City can start accepting points. I think they're already on the road that they have to go to places like West Ham, who are on a poor run of form, and try and pick up 3 points if they want to survive in the Premier League. I can't read my own writing here. Tom, we've beaten Hull City our last 6 league home games in the Premier League, dating all the way back to 1990. We've won them all against Hull City. Are they the perfect opponents for us on Saturday, given the circumstances surrounding Bilic, etc.?
Yeah, mate. I mean, the last 2 games, obviously, we were playing the 2 worst away teams in the result-wise in the Premier League. Obviously, we did scrappy 1-0 win against Burnley, and now we've got Hull. I was expecting 6 points. So yeah, it's the last 2 games. The last one, Burnley, and this one is the perfect 2 fixtures for us to try and crack on with this season.
Well, we're halfway to your 6 points, Tom. Don't you worry. But Tom, Gonzo's mentioned Snodgrass, but who do you consider to be their danger man, Tom? Is there anyone you're looking out for at Hull City?
I think their left. Yeah, their left side's quite good, isn't it? They could potentially cause our right. Is it Iorfa? Does he play from Iorfa? Is he play or is he Wolves?
he plays right back for Wolves.
It's
a very similar coloured shirt, though, to be fair to Tom.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know. Apart from Snodgrass, as Gonzo mentioned, I thought I'm getting my teams mixed up because they've got the same colour shirts.
At least you're honest. To be fair, you were onto something there with their left side. I thought you were ready to talk about Andrew Roberts, and I thought,
I watched Match of the Day, mate, and they looked like there was terrorising Spurs down that side, and that's the worst side possibly for us. That's what I noticed.
It's Andrew Robertson. I've always thought he should be converted to a winger. I think defensively he's so fragile. He's got a lot of errors in him. But going forward, I think controversial maybe for West Ham. I think he's better than Creswell going forward, but he's nowhere near as good defensively. And I think Creswell's the better all-rounder, left back, etc. But Robertson can ping a cross in like there's no tomorrow. Hull have gone to a 3-5-2 the last 2 or 3 games, so that could be a little bit interesting when we will talk about our setup in a second. But the one player I like from Hull this season is Klukas. He looks quite handy in the centre of the park, and he's keeping Ryan Mason out of the team. So we'll see. But that's all for Hull City. Before we move on to West Ham, it's the man in the middle. It's Lee Mason, the little bald man. I really don't like this referee, actually. We've not had him this season. Last season we had him twice, won 1 and drew 1. Hull, on the other hand, have had him twice, both away from home, and they got thumped in both their games. They lost 3-0 at the Stadium of Light against Sunderland, and they got smashed 6-1 against Bournemouth. So please, Lee Mason, please keep that trend up. West Ham United have conceded the highest, and we've conceded most goals from open play so far this season. 25 of our goals has come from open play. Gonzo, speaking of open play, we're conceding plenty of goals. We've started with 3 at the back against Burnley. Are you saying, please, Slav, change it to 4?
Well, just to get another striker, let's at least show a bit of ambition and go for it. I just wrote on the forum, actually, it's not something we discussed on the review, on the Burnley review. I was ready to slaughter Ayew. I've got to say, maybe not just Ayew, maybe the purchase of Ayew for 20 million and the deployment of him. Why have we purchased this guy? He doesn't seem to have a place in the team. There's a lot of money to pay for somebody who doesn't seem to have a position earmarked. I would expect that if you purchase a player, you think, okay, I'm going to buy that player and he's going to play in this position for me. That didn't happen with Ayew. We just sort of bought him because we thought we really should spend some money. So I didn't like that sort of policy. And also when he came on, I thought, what is this guy offering? He's offering nothing. And then towards the end, he showed some real invention, some real creativity. And that would have been some goal. And it was very close. If that had gone in, to actually lift the ball up and jink it up and jump through that gap between 2 players taking the ball with you. And then I thought, hold on a second. This guy can actually offer something. So I want to see a 4-4-2 or whatever, a something 2. And I want to see him up there next to Carroll and see what he can conjure up in the box.
Okay, so Gonzo doesn't really answer the question about 4 at the back. Tom, would you go to 4 at the back? Are you fed up with the 3 at the back?
I am fed up with it, mate. Yeah, to be honest with you, I think that's one of the reasons why we played so poorly second half last night. To be honest with you, we had 5 at the back, 3 with the 2 wing backs, and we had 2 central defensive midfielders. So 7 out of our 10 out players were defensive minded, which is one of the reasons why I think we didn't offer nothing going forward last night. Yeah, so I want to see 4 at the back, Gio. Yeah.
Who would you play right back, Tom? Considering you've just said that Hull looked dangerous down their left, our right. So who would you be putting right back?
Well, that's what I'm saying, mate. It's a bit of, it's going to be, we haven't got anyone who can play right back. Let's be honest here. So it is square pegs, round holes, whatever you want to call it. I've been thinking about it all day actually. I would potentially put Cresswell right back. We've got Ogbonna that can actually cover left back. So I'm looking at, Cresswell's a seasoned pro, just no nonsense sort of really. I know it's people, what you want about putting Cresswell right back? I'm just thinking about what I watched the match of the day last night with what Hull done against Spurs down that side. We need someone there that can physically just defend. Their job is literally just to defend, get the ball out, comes there, just punt it long or punt it out, and Cresswell does that. So I would hope that, put Cresswell on the right and I would put Ogbonna on the left and I would put Reed and Cute in the middle as us and have 4 at the back.
Cresswell right back is not as barmy as Antonio right back. That's what I will say. But I would have the same 4 personnel as you, Tom. I would change it slightly. I would have Czech Chiati right back. I've explained in another preview. I think he could get up and down that wing and it'll leave Reed and Ogbonna in the middle, Cresswell left back. Going into midfield though, Gonzo, if you're wanting to take in Ayew, would you leave Noble in? There's still a lot of talk about Noble. I think he's improved the last 2 games, but there is still a lot of questions being asked. Should Noble keep his position?
I'm past caring, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm getting a bit bored. People must be bored of listening to it as well. I'm getting bored of talking about the tactics and about the shape and about the formation. I just want to see a little bit of life in the team. And do you know what? We could say to take out Noble. I certainly don't think you can take Obiang out because Obiang seems to be really cementing his place and getting better. I can't remember where we discussed it, but I think we need a box-to-box midfielder. Something is not quite right in that midfield unit, and that depends on whether he wants to deploy a 2 in the middle or 3 in the middle, and that's where it all just gets a bit boring for me. But I think we need a different type. So if you are selecting Obiang, possibly you do have to drop Noble and just get somebody in there. If we don't have that, then maybe we need to identify these players and bring someone like that in. So we have a stopper, someone that's going to tackle, someone that's going to intercept, and then someone that is actually going to give the run in. I think you said someone like Chiati, but somebody that can perhaps a little bit more technically gifted than Chiati in that position. So I think if we do, I like Lanzini in that role. I'd like to see Lanzini and Obiang actually given that central midfield pairing and really see what they can do and get some ammunition. So you like that? You like Lanzini going and taking the ball off the centre backs, don't you? And yeah, I'd probably go with that.
Yeah, and I mean, people will probably get bored of me banging the drum all season for Lanzini centre mid. I just think he's got what it takes. I don't think it'll work away to Chelsea or Arsenal. I don't think you could get away with Lanzini and Obiang. But at home to Hull City, I think it must work here. We have to be able to have someone as creative as Lanzini playing deeper, create for the creative players. I would like to see them in there. My only worry would be if Hull City play three in the middle and we get overran. But that's when Bilic has to adapt. That's when if we have Antonio and Payet wider, that they have to come slightly narrower and just cramp up the middle of the pitch. Or we play the ball wide and stretch their midfield three. You can tell what formation I'm wanting. I want to see the return of the 4-2-3-1 with Obiang, Lanzini in the middle, Antonio Payet, then Ayew. You spoke about Ayew, so I'm going to speak about Ayew as well. With Ayew starting just off Carroll, not as an attacking midfielder, but almost as a second striker in a way. You get up as much as you can, just stand next to Andy Carroll. Tom, where are you wanting to see in the latter stages of the you were at the game last night. Were you impressed by Andy Carroll? Would you stick with him, or would you maybe bring in Fletcher?
I would stick with him, and for me, I personally would put Fletcher on with him. To be honest with you, I'd go 4-4-2. I'd either put Fletcher or Ayew on up there with him. We need to change up. We need to start using Carroll for all his attributes, you know. And his main attribute is obviously heading it down to people. And last night he was heading it down to people, and there was no one there. He was heading it on. I mean, we need to start using this weapon. You know, everyone's like it's Allardyce sort of tactics, but we need to get balls in the box, and we need to start. Carroll can't play up top by himself; he just can't physically do it. He's not that sort of player to do it. So if you're going to play Carroll, you've got to play Carroll to his full advantage, which is playing with another player, with another striker.
Amen. West Ham United have conceded the highest proportion of goals from set pieces. No, sorry, we scored our highest proportion of goals from set pieces. Of our 18 Premier League goals this season, 12 have come from set pieces, 2/3 of our goals, which is quite alarming when you consider how much creative players we have on the pitch that we're unable. We've only scored 6 goals from open play this season. Quite a high statistic. Hull City, however, conceded the most goals the first time in the game. 13 games this season, they've conceded first. Gonzo, is that what's going to be key on Saturday? Who scores first?
Yeah, and keeping it tight, keeping a clean sheet. They probably have a little bit more to offer from creative. I don't know if El Mohammadi is playing for Hull at the moment. He is, he's a very good crosser of the ball. He has a very, very good delivery. So we are susceptible. It's all very well saying, you know, breaking down how we've scored our goals, but we are susceptible to conceding goals at the moment. So I think that's going to be the most important thing, as important as, you know, scoring first. We just have to make sure that they don't score against us, really. I think if we can do that and we can keep it tight, then we can certainly score a goal, be it from a set play or from open play. Well, what is clear is, funny enough, I was just reading Claret and Hughes before we started off, and there's a thing with Payet on there, and Payet has been involved in half of our goals this season, I think the stat is. So it's quite clear with Payet on the pitch, we have a chance of scoring a goal. So let's try and keep it tight and then see if we can do something.
Tom, I have a theory. I'm not put out yet on a show. People are wondering why we're struggling this season, and people are. One stat which I don't like, I mentioned in the review last night, we've lost the most points from winning positions this season. We've lost 12 points from winning positions. Do you think the reason we're struggling is because we are taking the lead in these games? Remember last season, we used to be the comeback kings, if you like. We used to go a goal down, sometimes 2, and then we used to just go for it. Do you think now we're starting to win the games earlier in the match? We're thinking, how do you think maybe Bilic and the team are struggling to, or they're just not used to scoring first and having to defend a lead or such like early on in the game? I'm hoping this makes some sort of sense.
I can see what you're trying to say, mate, but it should make a difference, really, if you score first or score to get back in or concede first. It should make a difference, really, you know, to whatever tactics you've got. And in the day, mate, there's for me lately, it's been too many defensive players. You know, we haven't had offered enough going forward, and that for me is the main reason why we're struggling to score goals at the moment.
Quick yes/no answer from you both until I've got a big question for you. Tom, would you accept the same performance as we did against Burnley if we won 1-0 again? Would you take that right now?
If it meant getting the 3 points, right? If you said to me it's going to be exactly the same sort of game as Burnley, 3 points, I'd take it. I'd moan about the performance afterwards because we're just fans, and that's what we're entitled to do, you know. But yeah, 3 points. The points are the most crucial thing. Let's get that right. You know, I might have a moan up after and say it's one of the most boring games I ever watched last night, the second half. But in the day, we got the 3 points. That's all that matters. The way we got the 3 points, I wasn't happy about. But that's what we can. That's what as fans, what we're allowed to, entitled to talk about.
I think you summed that up perfectly there. Gonzo's nodding away, so I won't go to Gonzo for that question. I think he agrees with you. But Gonzo, how big a game is this for Bilic?
It was almost his last game, and I do firmly believe that if he hadn't have got that result against Burnley, this would have been Bilic's last game. If he hadn't have won it, having said that, he did win against Burnley, so we are now 16th of the table, which takes the pressure off. It takes the pressure off of him. So I don't think it's pivotal. I don't think it's boom or bust. But if he did lose it and the other teams did win and we went back down there, then it would be pressure on it. Then puts the pressure on for the remaining games, which could be tricky. Swansea away could be tricky. Leicester away could be tricky. They were champions. Well, they are champions, and Mahrez and Vardy, players like that are very good. Musa's good, and they don't have Champions League football until February probably. So they can put that to one side. So you need to win this one. There's nothing, and then it's Man U up after that. So there's nothing to say that we are going to win the games afterwards. So yeah, we need to make hay while the sun shines. Very, very important game for Slaven Bilic.
Tom, how big a game is it in your opinion for our gaffer?
That's huge, absolutely huge. I mean, I was the two games that we had, as I said, I was expecting 6 points. And Gonzo's made a valid point there with Swansea and Leicester. They're both in the same situation, actually. So that really, you can look at it yesterday, it was the 4 games. They're in exactly the same position as us. Yeah, Leicester are champions, but they're all down the bottom end of the table. They all need points. So these are all 6-pointers, and we've come out on top yesterday. This is another test, and the next 2 away, and they're not going to be easy. I don't think we ever won at Swansea, to be honest with you. I think we only drawn there as the best result. So it's not going to be easy at all. Everyone's fighting down the bottom.
Well, Tom, you say it's not been easy. Hull City have lost their last 6 Premier League away games in a row, and they haven't scored in their last 4 away games. Tom, are you confident?
I'm confident that we're going to get a result, the win. Yeah. Performance-wise, I think it's another issue, but yeah, I'm confident we're going to get a result.
Gonzo, same question. Are you feeling confident for this one?
Yeah, Tom's on good form tonight. He's saying everything that I'm thinking. I'm confident of the win. Don't think it'd be pretty.
Right, Gonzo, were you more confident for Saturday's game against Hull or for last night's game against Burnley? What one were you slightly more confident for?
I didn't really. I think I predicted Burnley. I think I predicted 4-1, so I was very confident about that. I always thought this would be the slightly more difficult one, but not hugely so. I mean, it's the fact I thought perhaps we might beat Burnley 4-1, and I might have thought we might beat this lot 3-1 or something, But not that that's my prediction. But you know what I'm saying? I was confident about both of them. These were must win, and I think we will win them both.
Well, you two think of your score predictions, but you at home, you can let us know your score predictions. What team do you want to see? Let us know in the comments below, or come onto our forum at hammerschat.com. Also, with Christmas just 10 days away, make sure you get your loved one a West Ham United watch from our sponsors, Royal London Watches. The link is below. Give it a click, have a little look, and see if there's any that you or your loved one would fancy. Tom, score prediction, please.
As you guys didn't have me on for the review last time, and I would actually gone 2-0 for us to beat Burnley, so it was 1-0. I thought it was going to be a tough game against Burnley actually, and I thought we were going to score 2 goals, but I wasn't expecting we to struggle the way we did and only score 1. So on that basis, and obviously Gonzo thought it was going to be 4-1 yesterday, I think it's going to be the same. I think it's going to be 2-0 West Ham. It's going to be a hard slog. It's really going to be really, really tough. It's going to be exactly the same. I think it's going to be a Burnley repeat times 2. Yeah, 2-0.
Gonzo, same question. What is your prediction?
Yeah, I'll have that. I'll go for 2-0.
I'm going to go for 2-1 just because I think, I don't know, can we really get 2 clean sheets in a row? It's unheard of a West Ham under Slaven Bilic, but you never know. I think it'll be a tough game as well. I think it's going to be a nervous game for fans, but I think if we win, like I said, we can go to 13th. That does just take the pressure off a little bit. It means we can go to Swansea, maybe accept a point. It keeps them below us, gets us moving. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We'll keep your eyes out for a review. Don't know when it'll be up because we're all at the game again, and we'll have a vlog coming. But It'll be up at late Saturday or Sundays, but make sure you subscribe to the channel here at youtube.com/Hammershire. Keep your eyes out. Hopefully we'll be back with you on Saturday night celebrating a victory for West Ham. We'll soon find out.